Hello my dear students, so today I am going to start the next topic, that is characteristics of labor. So in the previous video we have already discussed about the classification of labor. So we have done that labor can be classified into three categories: skilled, semi-skilled and unskilled. So today we are going to discuss the characteristics of labor. Okay, what are their characteristics, how it is different from land as well as from other factors of production. So first characteristics we have, labor is first characteristics we have, labor is perishable. Okay, what is mean by perishable? Perishable means that cannot be stored for a long time, and if we store it for a long time it will decay. Especially it happens in the case of vegetable, but here the concept is little different. So here perishable means if the workers are not going for a work on that particular day, then for that particular day his labor is wasted. Means suppose say I am a teacher, and if I am not doing any work related to teaching for that particular day, means my labor for that particular day is wasted. Okay, so that is called perishable. Once again listen, what is perishable? Perishable means if any worker he does not go for work, then for that particular day his labor will be wasted, his effort will be wasted. Okay, that's why it is called perishable. And thus labor cannot be stored. Labor cannot be stored means I cannot be stored for 10-20 days, and after that I will be able to contribute whatever I was supposed to do within that 10-15 days. No, whatever the time period I will take rest, that means for that particular day or for particular time period, okay, for that particular time period my labor will be wasted. So that's why it is called perishable. Now second characteristics we have, labor is an active factor of production. Okay, labor is an active factors of production. Now we know that we have already done that land and capital. Okay, land and capital are what type of factors of production? This land and capital, these two are passive factor of production, whereas labor is an active factor of production. Now here you have to understand the difference, why this land and capital is called passive factors of production and why this labor is called an active factors of production. Now land and capital cannot do anything by itself. Okay, means land and land and capital cannot produce anything by itself. In order to produce, okay, in order to produce by this land and capital, we have to use labor. So without the presence of labor, land and capital cannot produce anything. That's why it is called labor is an active factor and land and capital is a passive factor. So in order to produce anything, this land and capital needs the support of this labor. Okay, land and capital needs support of labor. Here labor is an active factor because in order to produce, in order to operate this land and capital, at least one labor is needed. That's why this labor is called an active factors of production and land and capital is called passive factors of production. Now the next characteristics we have, labor cannot be separated from laborer. So here you have to understand. Suppose say we are taking example of land and capital. Now this land and capital can be separated from its owners. Okay, this can be separated from its owners. I will explain you how it will be separated from owners. Suppose say person A is the owner of this land. Now this person A can give his land for the production. So this land and this particular owner can be separated. Okay, his land can only be used for the production. It is not necessary that owner has to be present with the land for any productive purpose. And same case is applied in the case of this capital. Okay, capital and owner can be separated. That means if suppose say I have a different machine or equipments and I am owner of that machine or equipments. Suppose say for example roller. Okay, we have seen while constructing the roads they are using the roller and the JCB. So JCB that comes under capital. Okay, capital. So that capital and owner can be separated. Okay, owner can simply stay at home and he can give his machine or equipments to somebody else for a rent, or for some other person can hire his JCB or roller for any productive purpose. So here this person owner and capital can be separated, but that is not possible in the case of labor. Okay, that is not possible in the case of labor. Labor and laborer cannot be separated. We cannot make into two parts. Suppose say I am one of the worker. Okay, I am one of the worker, so I cannot be separated. My talent, my knowledge, my experience cannot be separated from me. Okay, whenever I am going to contribute anything in any kind of production, I have to be physically present there for that particular work. I'll give one example. Suppose say let's consider carpenter. Okay, so carpenter, the one who is making furniture. So that particular carpenter, he cannot stay at home and provide his knowledge to somebody else to make that furniture. So here carpenter and his talent, okay, cannot be separated. So here labor and laborer cannot be separated. Labor is the amount of effort, okay, it may be physical or mental effort provided by the laborer in any kind of productive activity. So here the carpenter talent and the carpenter cannot be separated. But here if I am the owner of machine or equipments, then I can give that machine and equipments to somebody else to use in the production purpose. So here it is possible to separate. Okay, in the case of land and capital, it is possible to separate the owner and the land and capital, but that is not possible in the case of labor. So labor and laborer cannot be separated. Okay, next, another important characteristics of labor is that labor is mobile. Mobile means the labor can be easily shifted from one place to another place, or we can shift the labor, or we can move one labor from one occupation to another, but that is not possible in the case of land. Okay, in the case of land is a what type of factors of production? Immobile. That means the land of Pakyong cannot be shifted to Gangtok, or land of Pakyong cannot be shifted to Namchi or some other places, but the laborers from Pakyong can be easily moved or shifted from Pakyong to Gangtok or Namchi. So here we can see that labor is a mobile factors of production, whereas land is immobile factors of production. So why it is mobile? Because labor can be easily shifted from one place to another place, as well as that can also be they can also change their occupation. Suppose say today I am working as a teacher. Okay, maybe if I want to change my profession, that is possible for me. I can go for some other type of work also. I can go and work in the industry also. So there I'm changing my profession from teaching to some other technical work, or maybe in some other work. So here labor is mobile because he can change his occupation also, as well as he can shift from or move from one place to another place. But that is not possible in the case of land. Okay, the next characteristics we have, labor differs in efficiency. Mean, what is efficiency? Efficiency means productive capacity of an labor, or we can say that productive capacity of a worker. Okay, efficiency means productive capacity of worker. Okay, so here what is the statement? Labor differ in efficiency. So all the labors cannot be equally efficient. Okay, suppose say two workers are there working in the same, suppose say A and B are two different labors, and both are working in the same place. Okay, both are related to same type of job, but it is not necessary that both A and B will be equally efficient. So the reason may be due to lack of training. Suppose say if labor A is trained, educated, then labor A will be more efficient than that of labor B. So here what I mean to say that the efficiency of labor, the productive capacity of worker may vary, okay, may differ. Why? Because if somebody is more educated, more trained, more experienced, then his productive capacity will be more. Whereas if some labor, he is less educated, or if he has not gone for any kind of training, or he has less experience, so in that case his efficiency will be less, the productive capacity will be less. That's why it is called labor differs in efficiency. Okay, so last characteristics we have, labor can improve its efficiency. Yes, that is possible. Okay, the efficiency or the productive capacity of labor can be improved. How it can be improved? By providing technical knowledge, by providing more training, by providing more education, the efficiency of labor can be improved. Okay, once again listen, how the efficiency can be improved. The efficiency of labor can be improved by providing better technical knowledge, better education, okay, more training. So once the workers will become trained, his efficiency will be improved. Okay, now I am going to start next topic. The next topic we have a difference between land and labor. Okay, land and okay, so I think from these characteristics of land and labor, we can easily distinguish between land and labor. We have already done. So first difference, what could be the first difference? Land, okay, land is whatever factors of production, land is a passive. So point number one, it can be land is a passive factors of production, whereas labor is what type of factors of production? Labor is a passive factors of production. So that is the first difference. Now the second difference is that which one is more mobile? Labor is more mobile or land is more mobile? So labor is more mobile and land is immobile. So we can write land is immobile factors of production. Okay, this is your production. So land is immobile factors of production, because the land of one particular area cannot be shifted or cannot be moved from one place to another place, whereas labor, okay, labor is a mobile factors of production and it can be easily shifted from one place to another. So here point number 2 we have labor is a mobile factor of production. Okay, now the next difference we have. Okay, now tell me which factors of production supply is fixed or which can be variable. So the supply of labor is variable. So supply of labor can be increased or decreased over a period of time. If the population of a country is increasing, the supply of labor, the number of labor can increase. But whatever the quantity of land we have, so that quantity of land will remain fixed. So here supply of land is, we can say that supply of land is fixed, whereas here the supply of labor is variable. Okay, so here labor can be increased or decreased. So normally what happens that when the population of a country increases, the supply of labor or the number of labor will increase, but the supply of land, whatever the quantity of land we have, that will remain fixed. So supply of land is fixed and the supply of labor is variable.